Imagine your child is crying and making a huge fuss. You are very busy, tired, annoyed, and exhausted. You try everything you can to calm them down, but nothing works. Unfortunately, you have only one option left. You take the iPad, go to YouTube, and type in Cocomelon. The child immediately hears the sounds, and in 2 seconds, the mood changes as if everything is right in the world. Now, the little one is completely engrossed in the show and don't care about anything else. Finally, you have some time to breathe. You're glad that there's at least one way to keep your child calm and happy, right? Well, sadly not. Unknowingly, you have given your child the evil child zombie drug. It's the most addicting thing on earth for a child. The very moment you take the iPad, it's not going to be the same child anymore. As you start thinking about why this is happening, you may feel fear and panic. In this story, I will explain why you might regret the decision to use Cocomelon as a child catalyst. Before going into all the bad sides and criticisms, let's see what Cocomelon tells about their show. In every description, they explain their goal is to help make learning a fun and enjoyable experience for kids, giving you the peace of mind that your children are receiving quality educational content. But first, I'll tell you how they are actually testing their content. A journalist from the New York Times discovered that the #1 focus is keeping children hooked to the show: attention. Because today's attention is like the new oil. More attention equals more money. Pretty fair for a media company, right? Well, it's not about attention, but what they do to keep the attention is actually terrifying. According to The Reporter, Cocomelon has a specialized, distraction-free testing room where, once a month, children are individually brought in to watch selected episodes. This process helps determine which elements of the show are the most engaging. There are 2 screens. One plays a Cocomelon episode, and the second displays a continuous loop of real-world routine scenes, especially things happening inside a home. For example, a person is pouring some coffee and a woman is making a sandwich, each lasting for about 20 to 30 seconds. The moment the kid takes his eye off the show to watch the other screen, they take a note. The purpose of Cocomelon is to pinpoint the exact moments that might distract children, ensuring they remain fully focused on the show. The primary goal is to capture attention. With 39 videos accumulating around 50 billion views, it is clear that Cocomelon strategies are effective. Their data and analytics are remarkably advanced, considering details we might not even think about. Every element, from color combinations to saturation and contrast, is meticulously crafted to grab and maintain a child's attention. For instance, decisions about the color of a girl's dress or the shade of a boy's t-shirt, as well as the volume of the music, are all carefully considered. Keeping a child's attention can be challenging, but it is evident that Cocomelon excels in this area. Their experts have excelled in understanding the psychology of a child's brain. A child's brain is naturally wired to learn through repetition, which makes it instinctive for them to enjoy watching and hearing the same content repeatedly. This can be observed in nearly every video. Sometimes even adults get hooked to these videos. It's that powerful. Look at this comment.
Dude, I am never letting my kid watch that. I wondered what was up with Cocomelon, so I tried watching one of the song videos. Someone's in the kitchen cooking breakfast. I watched about 40 seconds, and it made me feel weird, so I turned it off. That was months ago, and I still get it stuck in my head a few times a week. And every single time I get a weird, nauseous feeling like being on the spinning teacup ride at the fair. I think they figured out how to make kids feel like they're on roller coasters so they get addicted.
Fast-paced cuts, sometimes less than 2 seconds, lullabies, colors, and subtitles. When all comes together, it creates the drug that turns children into zombies. A mother says, "Cocomelon made my kid a zombie. You could be waving your hand right in front of his face and he wouldn't move." It's almost scary. The New York Times journalist reported something similar. A child arrived mid-tantrum into the distractor room. But the moment he heard the Cocomelon theme song, he instantly calmed down. This came as no surprise to Maurice Wheeler, head of research. 99% of kids, he said, if they are having issues when they get here, once that Cocomelon song comes on, they're like, life is okay, all good with the world. There are hundreds of complaints from parents saying the exact same thing. Cocomelon is insanely addictive. But there is one word you can see in most of the comments of the parents: zombie. Calling a child a zombie is pretty weird, right? But sadly, that's how bad it is. The Cocomelon TikTok challenge serves as strong social proof of this effect. When parents play the Cocomelon intro at full volume, kids immediately rush toward the device, their mood shifting in an instant, and after that, they don't respond to anything. However, the chaos begins when you take the iPad away or switch the TV off. The child becomes devastated for about 20 minutes and starts throwing wild tantrums. There are hundreds of stories on Reddit sharing the bad experiences parents had with their children addicted to Cocomelon. Why is Cocomelon turning toddlers into zombies? There are several reasons for this phenomenon. Cocomelon is so highly stimulating that it can act almost like a drug. Just like with any drug, removing it can trigger a withdrawal reaction. Young children can show signs of addiction and withdrawal, leading to significant dysregulation when they don't have access to it. Once you get a taste of it, it can be very hard to let go, even as an adult. The catchy songs tend to linger in your mind long after you've heard them. The more children watch the show, the more their brains become conditioned to expect a high level of stimulation. Cocomelon engages their minds to such an extent that everything else seems slow and dull by comparison. While this is concerning, the potential consequences go further, as it is a significant factor in speech development issues among children. Cocomelon lacks a coherent story. Instead, it presents random short clips with songs that feature repetitive words. As a result, children are exposed to little more than isolated words with nothing meaningful for them to think about or understand. Dr. Roseanne Kapana-Hodge, a pediatric mental health expert, explains that too much screen time, especially from fast-paced shows, can impact a child's development by overstimulating their brain. Over time, this can lead to behavioral problems, impulse control issues, and even language delays. Child development expert Jerica Sanis notes that Cocomelon-specific issues, like its lack of consistent parent-child interactions or meaningful problem-solving skills, might be why some parents report negative effects on their kids' behavior. One major concern with Cocomelon and similar children's shows is the potential for speech delays. Language development flourishes through interactive exchanges, something screens simply can't provide. Excessive screen time can deprive kids of crucial opportunities to practice their language skills and develop emotional intelligence through real-life interactions. However, Cocomelon isn't an evil magic wand that turns toddlers to behave unresponsively, as most parents call it, like zombies. Isn't it the parenting style? When it's the end of the day, dinner is done, and toys are everywhere. The bedtime routine feels like a marathon, and you're not ready to run. So you take the tab, open YouTube, type Cocomelon, and then keep it in front of your toddler. So now you need to think twice. Is Cocomelon really bad? Or are you making poor parenting decisions? It's up to you to decide.